Hi, I'm Maddie, and today we're going to be making something a little bit special for Mother's Day. I thought we should make something that's got a little bit of some sweetness, a little bit different than what we made last week. So we are doing a triple berry brie bite recipe. This is a great kind of appetizer for brunch or something you can have alongside your breakfast. So we are going to start with mixing our fruits with a little bit of cinnamon sugar. We're gonna let that sit with some raspberry vinegar. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I am doubling this recipe just because I'm making it for the sample, but you don't have to do that. So I'm just gonna put in the same bowl blueberries and strawberries. I can get them all out. And you do want to try and do this in a non-reactive bowl, meaning not something that's metal, just because we're putting an acid in there. You don't want that metallic taste to go into your food. So here I have the raspberry vinegar. We're just going to drizzle that in here. All right. And then I have just some granulated sugar and some cinnamon that I'm going to mix together in a bowl. If you're one of those people that's bought the cinnamon sugar shaker from the store, you can use that too. This is just how you make it when you don't have that. So we're just mixing that together. And we're gonna sprinkle about half of that mixture in with our fruit. You'll wanna save some for sprinkling towards the end. It's kind of a small bowl, but just gonna let those sit so that they can kind of soak up that vinegar and get that caramelized yumminess all over. Excuse the fallout there. All right, now this is going to sit for about 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, we are going to take a normal sized muffin tin. You probably could do this in a mini muffin tin if you wanted smaller ones, but for now we're just gonna use the normal size. I've got blood orange olive oil here, and I'm just gonna take a small pastry brush. You can also use a paper towel dipped in a little bit of this oil, and we're just gonna coat the inside all the way. Make sure we get all of it. We don't want these to stick because we're using puff pastry. I'll just do a couple for now so you can see what we're gonna do. Keep that aside. Keep your brush in there too. Don't get rid of that yet. So I've taken my puff pastry. This is store-bought, nothing special. You don't have to do all that. So I've cut this into 12 even pieces. If your piece is bigger or smaller, you might get more or less. So these are just some squares. We're going to kind of fit down into these muffin tins. It's okay to leave some hanging out. It'll actually look really cute that way. If you want to, if you don't want them to touch, do every other, like that. And then we will be going back in with that oil, brushing the insides. Make sure you get the part that's hanging out so it gets nice and brown in the oven. And if you aren't somebody who likes orange, I think the lemon oil would be just as delicious in this recipe. All right, so we're just gonna wait a few more minutes for this to marinate, and then we'll finish up. All right, now that these have marinated for about 10 to 15 minutes, I have finished all of the puff pastry in my muffin tin. So we're gonna take a couple spoonfuls of the fruit. I'm gonna start with one little layer of fruit per cup right now. We'll add the brie and then we'll top it off a little bit with more. All right, then I'm gonna go through, I've cut up my brie into about 1/2 inch to 1 inch size cubes. We're just gonna nestle one into each of the muffin tins. If you find it a little difficult to cut your brie because it is a softer cheese, you can also freeze it a little bit ahead of time. Makes it a bit easier to cut, and then as you're preparing everything else, it'll get a little bit softer. And it's going in the oven anyway, so it's gonna melt. Berries on the top of each and every one. Right. And then we're just gonna take that remaining half of our cinnamon sugar and just sprinkle it over the top a little bit of each of these. And our oven has been preheated to 425 degrees, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in probably about 15 minutes or so, but keep an eye on them. Once the edges of your puff pastry gets golden brown, you'll wanna pull them out. All right, these have been in there for about 12 minutes or so. I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. They look nice and golden brown and puffed up. And those are our finished little brie bites. Let them cool a little bit. They'll kind of come away from the pan a bit and we'll pop them out. And then you can drizzle them with more of the raspberry vinegar if you'd like, or powdered sugar if you want to make them pretty. But either way, these are going to be delicious for a Mother's Day brunch. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there, and we'll see you next time.